Okay, so you can start to see, like I've made a lot of rough cuts at this point, and something you got to keep in mind, okay, is that there's going to be some footage that you really like that you just can't use. Like sometimes, like you're not going to be able to use everything. And the point is, you kind of just have to let go. All right, like some of your footage is going to be really good, and you're going to want to use it, but you can't have a 20-minute hype video. No one's going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like it completely defeats the purpose of the hype video. So you have got to, all right, be willing to make some tough decisions with what you're getting rid of. Okay. And it also means that sometimes, I mean, you have to get more than you think you need because you never know what shot's going to actually look good. Okay. Um, you got to be really almost cutthroat. Like that. If you think about like what happens in movies and stuff, a lot of times they'll cut out entire characters. Somebody spent a long time um, filming a scene and working in a show and stuff, and then they'll just like straight delete the guy or girl because it just doesn't fit the pacing, and so they just kind of just say like forget it, like we can't have you in the movie, sorry about your luck. And that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it's that happens a lot. So you can see here I'm down to 752 now. Okay. So all right. So with this, it is what it is. I mean I need to keep cutting because I need to lose another, you know 6 minutes of footage. But for the purposes of this video, okay, and making sure it doesn't take too long, let me show you what you're gonna do now. Okay. Now, one thing you don't want to do. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start to refine our clip. So, like, let's say you decided you wanted to save this clip. Okay, so let me just play it back real quick. So we've got hitch route here. We got the coach going. We don't want any of this. Turns, fires. Okay, cool. All right, now that I know what's happening, I'm going to move in. Okay, so now that I'm moving in, now that footage can be used. So I would say this is the money clip right here. Okay, so now you've got that, and then so that's the part that I want. Okay, now so I'm going to get rid of this first part. So we're just refining clips now. Okay, now how much of that do I want? I don't need him running here. Literally all I want is when the ball enters. So I'm going to hit the arrow key, and that'll, like the right arrow key, and that moves it forward a frame. So you see how it's just kind of coming in. All I want is right here, right before it comes in. I'm going to hit B for blade, A, get rid of it, and so now my clip is just this. Done. Okay. Now, so here's something that you can do with your clips. I'm going to show you how to retime clips. So this button right here, it almost looks like a speedometer. Click on the arrow next to it. I filmed this footage at 120 frames a second. All right, and what that means is that the camera was moving very fast, right, and taking lots of footage. So I can slow it down because our project is 30 frames a second. I can slow it down by 75%. So I can play it back at 25% speed without any loss of quality. Okay, so let me play this back now. So see, you got a slow motion, shot now, and it looks pretty cool. So if you want to do something like that, you can. Okay, watch what happens when I slow it all the way down to 10%. All right, you'll start to be able to see the frames. Okay, it'll look really, see how it's jittery, it's not smooth anymore. It almost looks like stop animation. That's because it's more like, because the human eye can process it. Once you go past that 75% threshold, because I filmed it at 120 frames a second, that's why it happens. So here it's still smooth, right? If it's not as good as you want it, you can put it back up to normal. The other thing you should probably do is click on this arrow again, go to video quality, and go to frame blending. Okay, don't do optical flow, but come here, go to video quality and do frame blending, and that tells the computer See how it has a little bit of motion blur now? All right. So you might like that look. Watch the football as it comes in. See how it's got that blur to it? If I go back to normal, you won't see that motion blur. See, it's just there, you know, it's much smoother. So it's kind of like, that's more of a directorial decision. I kind of like the blur a little bit, so I'm going to put it in there. Okay? So that's how you do changing duration. So let me go all the way back to the beginning of the flag. So I've got the flag here. It's blowing in the wind. It's almost a little too choppy or whatever. So what I want to do is I want to find a good frame like this where I can't see the flag at all, and then I play it and I can see, yeah, I can see the bulldog there or whatever, the crest there a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and slow it down to 25%. And now it's kind of cool, like how, you know, smooth that is, and it's not really like overly done and stuff. There's probably better parts of this clip, but I just went with it there. So, and I can, now that it's slowed down, I can shorten the clip up so it's only 5 seconds instead. Okay, so that's how you do that speed thing. Now you can speed things up too. I don't know that we should for this, but like you can go here to fast and do like 2 times, let's say, and now all of a sudden, you know, everything's fast. I don't know that that's like a good thing to do for this, but that's up to you. Okay, it's your hype video. Okay. All right, so we're at 640 right now. We've got the speed down. We've got, you know, how to do more, you know, close-knit clips and stuff. All right, the last thing I want to show you on this video is don't scale up your footage. Okay, actually there's 2 things. Don't scale up your footage. If I scale this up to 200 and let's say 50 here, watch what happens. Like I can see him better, but it's super blurry, right? And that's because you're starting to put too much data in there and it just doesn't work. Like if you shot in 4K and then you wanted to scale up by 200 in a 1080p project, that would be fine, but you can't do it for this. It's just, it makes it very blurry. So with a GoPro, you have to literally just, wherever your footage is, like that's where you have to be. Now, one of the clips got inverted, okay, so it's upside down. I wish I could say I did this on purpose, but I didn't. It was so hot that I think the camera just kind of gave up for a second. So what you can do is click on the transform button here, all right, and that's going to pull up this wheel, and you can click and you can drag this over here and get it in. Now over here too on the right, you can actually type in a value, so I can click there and hit 180 and now it's level. So now I can see if I even want this clip. I mean, it's kind of a cool clip, so I'm glad that I was able to rotate it. But like I said, the camera was just really just kind of not happy at that point in time. Okay, so this is what it is. Alright, so I'll just get that opening part and then I'll close it down. So that's how you rotate footage if you need to. Okay? Alright, that's going to do it for this video. I'll show you a few other things in the next one.